Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we got a leak of the next event that is going to be an NHL 22's Hockey Ultimate Team. So we're going to discuss that as well as the new content like we always do. Guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel for the most up-to-date NHL 22 news and info. All right, let's get into the video. Alright, so as always, we're going to start with the new content. We'll discuss all of the relevant players that were released, in my opinion, starting off with the 81 Anthony DUCLAIR. DUCLAIR cards are always really good early on because of his skating. 90 speed, 90 acceleration, and in the 80s for his shot. His hand stats are all in the mid-80s as well. Heart and Soul is not really something that you're probably going to activate, but he does have low endurance, so if you were ever to activate it, that does help him out a little bit. This card's going for like 3,000 coins, guys. This is a great free-to-play card to target, and on my free-to-play Xbox team, it's probably who I'm going to go grab just early on until you get a more permanent solution, but a great card in the primetime Anthony DUCLAIR. Next, we'll bring up the 83 TYSON BARRIE with booming shot and backhand beauty. What a weird superstar ability to have on this card. In my opinion, I'm not a huge fan of TYSON BARRIE cards. However, 86 speed, 87 acceleration, and 90 agility if you do get booming shot activated isn't awful, and if you get that synergy on as well, he does get up to 82 body checking. His shot is half decent for early on in the game, but I think I'd still rather save my coins and get some better right-handers, maybe even base, Hamilton, chase that master set, Seth Jones, as well as Makar and those options as well. But if you're looking for someone super cheap, this could be a decent card, but he'd have to go for pretty low, well under 5,000 coins. We've got the 84 SHEA THEODORE from the Golden Knights with Light the Lamp and Seeing Eye. I do like Seeing Eye for defensemen. I think it's one of their better abilities. Now, this card isn't, it honestly isn't half bad at all. It's 6'2", 85 speed, 85 acceleration. What I want to discuss, like we always do, is the next tier for his X Factor card. So if you go and take a look at SHEA THEODORE's X Factor card, much like Ovechkin, he gets Distributor as his secondary synergy. Now he's got 87 speed, 85 acceleration, and there's very few great left-handed defenseman cards. This sort of makes him viable. I'm not a huge fan of Elite Edges or Heat Seeker as a zone ability, so I don't think I would activate any of these. But if you put Booming Shot and Distributor on, or any of these other ones, even like it was Bombarded to help with slap shot accuracy, this could be a half-decent one. I know that I've said throughout that, you don't really want to invest in these guys because it's just going to cost so many coins to go. But if you have him untradeable, this could be a pretty good option. At 15,000 coins, I'd pay the 15,000 coins, not the power-up collectible. The power-up collectibles, I think, are worth more. But yeah, 15,000 coins to get this defenseman, then I'm in. So a nice little addition here for SHEA THEODORE. Next up, we've got the 84 William Nylander from the Toronto Maple Leafs with Protector and All Alone. All Alone is not a good ability, so you can kind of ignore that. Protector does help his accuracy and deking, as well as his defensive awareness. Not a bad synergy, in my opinion. 89 speed, 89 acceleration, 90 agility with mid to high 80 shooting and hand stats basically all above 90. This is a very good right-handed winger card. And again, because he's got one of the lower overalls, he won't go for a super expensive price. We'll take a look at what he's going for in the auction house right now. Again, this is on PS5. 20K, not a bad price at all, in my opinion, for this card. Again, 90 speed is a very, very good benchmark to have for all of your players. And when you combine that with the fact he's got decent size at 6 foot and mid-80s shooting, that's, again, checks off a lot of boxes there. We've got the 85 primetime Sean Couturier with Magician and Tape to Tape. Tape to Tape as a superstar ability isn't bad at all. This is a good, well-rounded centerman. I've mentioned this before, that center is kind of a weak position currently in the game. There's just not a lot of mid-tier, even at the high end, there's a lot of players that you could put at center, but not necessarily great center builds. 86 speed, 85 acceleration, 85 shooting across the board, hand stats all in the high 80s, and then he's got good defensive stats as well. Not a bad card, honestly, when it comes to just pure centerman in the game. I think the 84 Couturier is a very cheap option, and, if this one's going for 21, I'd probably still rather have the base one instead of overpaying for it, but this just heads up because Sean Couturier will get his next upgrade, will bump him up a tier, and gotta be on the lookout for that. He might get 87 speed, which is pretty big considering he's 6'3". And then lastly, we've got the 86 Mitch Marner, as he's got Gladiator. This is bringing him up to his X Factor spot, so his next release will get him an upgrade for his X Factor card, which I think might actually be half decent. I know I've got it on my free-to-play team, but he does have 90 speed with synergies, though. I'm not a huge fan of Mitch Marner cards at all. I'd probably stay away from this one, but more of a shout-out that his next card will allow that Mitch Marner card to get upgraded going forward, so Something else I want to mention, guys, is about Hut Champs. A lot of players have been reporting that they haven't got their Hut Champs rewards yet, specifically their collectibles. They are looking into it. That's all the details I have. EA hasn't really given us, the Game Changers, any sort of info either. So just hold tight. It sucks. But honestly, I hope that you don't spend any of your collectibles this week, because while the Ryan Graves I had mentioned in my prior video, that for the 3 for 86 is a great value, they released this week's Hut Champs cards, and my goodness, you got one of the best cards in the game in 89 overall Jonathan Dahlén, who I love on my Sharks. Take a look at this thing, though. I mean, 90 speed, 90 acceleration, 98 agility. He's got 98 shot power, 91 accuracy, hand stats all above 90. This is the play, guys. Like, there will be a few cards throughout the Hut Champs season that you'll kick yourself for not saving all of them for. While Ryan Graves, the 86 overall, which is why I said the 86 is the best value, this 89 version of Jonathan Dahlén is nuts. Now, I do need to mention that the 88 has the same speed, so I would probably just save your collectibles and get the 88 version. As it falls a little bit lower, it gets a little bit less and less exciting, but that shot is absolutely nuts at this stage of the game. The one thing I do need to mention, though, guys, is that these will not upgrade. So keep that in mind if you're not someone who dominates Hut Champs and it takes you a few weeks to get enough. The 88 Jonathan Dahlén would be my best value, but man, this is the card I'm hunting as a Sharks fan and just as a Hut player. This is a phenomenal card. All right, guys, so now on to the leak of the next event. The EA Sports NHL Twitter account tweeted out earlier on today the 87 overall Halloween Rivals Quinn Hughes, as rivalries take center stage tomorrow in Hockey Ultimate Team. When you click on it, it appears there's a player blacked out on the card. So what I have a feeling is that they've actually, instead of using dynamic duos like we've had in the past, it looks like they're going towards a rivalry situation. My guess would either be Jack Hughes or Cale Makar when it comes to Quinn Hughes. So we will get a guaranteed Quinn Hughes master set item. The other ones that quickly come to mind if we're talking about strictly for rivals, well, I mean, Ovechkin, Crosby, it's a little early for them to get master set players in my opinion, but if they're doing the staggered release where it's like 91s, 87s, or 92s, 87s, and so forth, it might be, but those would be the ones where I would think about. So we'll have to wait and see. That's going to be released tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern time. I'm probably going to stream that, so check me out on Twitch during that. But guys, let me know what you think in the comments section down below. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one, guys.